All right, well going everybody. So we're doing Claude 101 and we're almost at the end. We're at the what's next section. So let me share my screen so we can get started. So boom, share my screen, boom. Yeah, let's do this. All right, so let me zoom in some more. Yeah, so again, we're at the what's next part, which is really close to the end of the Claude 101 course. So if you're starting here, you might want to go back to the earlier parts in the playlist so we can go through it. And just a reminder, the last one we did was pretty much other ways to work with Claude. So let's jump to what's next. All right, so congratulations on completing Claude 101. You've built a solid foundation for working with Claude effectively. Monty, let's recap what you've learned and point you toward resources for continued growth. All right. So it's what you've learned. Getting started with Claude. That was the first one we did. So in that section, it was Claude. We found out that Claude is an AI assistant built to be helpful, harmless, and honest, more than a chatbot. So they always stress that it's not just a chatbot. This is more than that. This is the assistant, a really smart assistant. It's a thinking partner for complex work. You can access Claude through web, desktop, and mobile apps with your conversations syncing across devices as long as you're logged into your account. Effective prompts set the stage, define the task, and specify rules. So context is important. The more context to give it, the better your response will be. And so define the task, basically what you want it to do, and give it the rules, like how you want it. All right. Now, after that, we went to the getting better results section. And in the getting better results section, iteration is key. Treat first responses as starting points and refine your conversation. It also mentioned common challenges like generic responses or wrong tone can be fixed with more specific context. So that's why they were stressing context is important. If you get like a really lame, basic response, you might want to get Claude in your prompt more context on what you want it to do. All right. Other one is AI fluency. Encompasses four competencies: delegation, description, discernment, and diligence. All right. So I think those are the things it said that are really good whenever you're making a prompt to follow. But biggest thing is I would say context, action, and the format style. My preference, Organizing your work was another section we did, and this focused on projects, create dedicated workspaces like persistent knowledge, custom instructions, and team collaboration. So when they're saying projects, they mean like the projects that you can create in Claude. So it's like, if you don't remember, projects are kind of like, if you don't remember, projects are pretty much like a way how you can have a Claude that's shared between your peers, but each of these Claudes already have the same context. Like they have access to the same documents, policy, all of that stuff. And then all four of them share it, or all those people share that same context. All right. And the other thing was artifacts. Artifacts are standalone outputs like documents, code, diagrams, and interactive tools that Claude creates alongside your conversation. Right? And artifacts are like, just like that. Like whenever you ask Claude to maybe make a website and then kind of makes this built-in website that you can kind of access from the Claude desktop, those are pretty much the artifacts are like a widget or something like that. Skills are instruction packages that teach Claude specialized workflows, including built-in document creation and custom skills you can create. We'll be doing more about skills in the next course that we're going to look at, which will be Claude Code 101. So this was just Claude 101. Other one will be Claude Code 101. So look out for the course. Expanding Claude's reach. All right. So now it's talked about connectors, like connectors link Claude to your tools, such as Google Workspace, Slack, Notion, and many more. So it can work with your actual data. So this is basically connectors, where it's like you can add external tool, like you mentioned, Workspace, Slack, if you want to give Claude more access to more data to help with your response that you're going to get from it. Enterprise Search provides a dedicated project for searching across your organization's knowledge sources. So I had a video about that one too, also a section, but basically Enterprise Search is like kind of like a project, but it's like more focused to your company. So like you might have your company policies, maybe a company onboarding process, and that way, like if a new person come, this is just like one example. If a new person come, they can just ask Claude, and Claude, like maybe, how do I get set up when I just joined the company? Claude will pretty much go through the onboarding document that was already uploaded to it, right? And it will just help with that response for the new user. Next one, research mode, conduct systematic multi-source investigations. That would take hours to do manually. So this is just a different mode that you can have Claude running. And it's really good for research. It will be more thorough. It will provide citations, more information, all of that. You don't need this all the time though, but yeah. So putting it all together, also there is a video that I already have for research mode. So if you want to learn more about that, just read or check out the video. All right. Other one is putting it all together. Claude applies across roles: sales, marketing, finance, HR, legal, research, and beyond. Pretty much any department you can think of can use Claude. All right. So beyond Claude AI, you can work with Claude through Claude Code, Slack, Excel, and Chrome. And remember, we will be doing a Claude Code 101 course after this one, as well as I haven't used Excel in a long time, but we will be doing some amount of Excel with Claude too, because I feel like a lot of people still use Excel. So I want to help out with that too. It'll be fun to relearn it. All right. So learn more about AI and Claude. So it says free courses. So this is just some of the additional resources. We could click on these. So for AI fluency courses, you can learn free courses on effective AI collaboration. They have a section for AI capabilities and limitations, where free introductory course on what AI can do and can't do. There's a use case gallery where step-by-step guides and prompts for powerful workflows. Anthropic Help Center, detailed documentation. So a bunch of these, right? So product-specific resources. So Claude Code in Action, free course on using Claude for development workflows. There was an introduction to Claude Cowork, which we did, which is a free course on how to use Claude's desktop companion, and then the content connector directory, so you can browse all those connectors that you can add. So a word of encouragement they're giving us. So it's the most important thing you can do now is just get started. The skills you've learned here will sharpen with practice, and you develop intuition for when and how Claude can help them. And that works for me. I'm a person who's like, I learn both visually or practically, so I got to actually do it, like get in there and do it. So encourage you to do the same. So yeah, it's a start simple. Pick one recurring task from your work this week and try it with Claude. Maybe it's drafting an email, summarizing meeting notes, or analyzing a spreadsheet. See what happens. Iterate, learn what works for your specific needs. Remember, Claude is designed to be a collaborator, not a replacement. Everybody else is an AI replacement. The best results come when you bring your expertise, context, and judgment to the conversation. You now have the foundation. The rest comes from doing the work. Feedback, you can add your feedback here. So that was just the what's next. The next one that we're going to do, I think, is a certificate one. So certificate of completion. So we're going to go through these and do the Claude 101 certificate of completion. They say it have 13 questions. So in the next video, stick around. We're going to do that. And remember, if you like this, like, comment, share, subscribe, and here with the nerdy Audi. And remember the motto: anyone can learn anything with time, practice, and failures. All right, I'm out. Ooh.